Guest today. He is a spoken word artist, an author, and a poet. I'm talking about Tendai M Shaba, and he is my guest in today's edition of Date A. Do stay there. My name is Angel Chima. Welcome. Welcome to the program, Tendai.
Thank you for having me, Angel.
And
it's an honor.
It's an honor to have you on the show. I mean, we've been trying to get you on the show, and
finally.
we keep missing each other, and finally it's happening, and I'm so excited.
Yes.
Thank you for accepting to give us this interview.
Thank you so much.
Tendai, you are well known as an author, a spoken word artist, and a poet.
Yes.
But people would like to know, who are you really?
Yeah, I'm a simple guy, really. But as you said, the name is Tendai M Shaba, and I'm a writer, a poet, and an activist. And I've recently published a new book, which is my second book. It's called A Lady in a Yellow Dress. That's following my first book in 2020, which is called Moments to Cherish. So yes, I do pride myself as one of the top voices in Malawi right now, and it's an honor to be here and to share the story with you, Angel.
Right. And what inspired you to do that, to become an author and poet and spoken word artist? It didn't just come from nowhere.
Yes. I think that all stems from being observant and looking at what's going on in the world, in our society, and when you're creative, you observe and you reflect on certain things, and sometimes you want to add a poetic voice to it. And as I mentioned, I'm an activist. So when I look at the things that are happening in the world, I make it, I challenge myself to speak about it, whether it's mental health, whether it's safe motherhood, whether it's, youth empowerment, all these things that are happening. I just have to add a poetic voice to it, and that's what being a true poet or thought leader is. Yes.
And tell us about your first book before we go to the recent one.
Yes.
What exactly is it about?
Yes.
And what inspired you to write it?
Yeah, my first book is called Moments to Cherish, and it was published in 2020. It's a collection of poems that reflect on the most important moments we as people experience in our lives. We talk about painful moments and happy moments. So it's pretty much learning from that experience and becoming better people to self-actualize ourselves as we learn from our experiences in this life.
Wow.
Yes.
And so far, how has been the reception since you started writing?
Yes. It's been good, overwhelming, but since we started, the strategy was different. We didn't want to just reach out to the local market. We use a strategy where we can also reach out to people elsewhere, But the first book, it was more like the foundation, laying down the foundation for what is to come. And you find that with the second book that was released in October last year, 2023, you find that it was also doing well in other countries other than just Malawi. And I guess that foundation paid off. So we can actually say it's international publishing.
Wow.
Which is good. We've got a lot of inquiries. How are you doing this? Can you teach us? So it's pretty much learning what they do in developed countries. Like the whole process of publishing books. The whole marketing and how you can really get the book to the actual niche market you're trying to reach out. So it's been a good experience.
Wow.
Yes.
And just like any other artist, you must have people that have inspired you to
Yes.
do what you do.
Yes.
Would you like to share with us who those are?
In terms of inspiration, where I draw it from, I have some local heroes, and I had the privilege of meeting one of them. That is late Wambari Nkandarie. And when I met him, it was an honor, because we had maybe like a 40 minute chat.
Wow.
Which he spent on advising me on saying, as an artist, you need to have an identity, and you should not sway away from your spirituality, and which I found deep, and it's one of the lessons I learned from that. And then also drawing from other artists, from back in the days, you find the Everson Matafales. Everson was a rebel. As an artist, you have to be a rebel sometimes, because you have to say things that other people are afraid to say, which I can say can also make you to be, like a deep-reaching artist. And then looking back, you have the David Rubadidis, the old people. Those guys were also inspirational. Frank Chipasula, for instance. Yeah, so there are a lot of people that inspired this.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And how has been your journey? I'm sure just living your dream is exciting enough. And
yes.
I'm sure you wouldn't mind sharing with us how the journey has been since you started till now.
Yes, the journey has been good. Recently, I just got recognized as an impactful poet in a Commonwealth country by the Commonwealth Poetry Podcast in association with the Commonwealth Society. And when they reached out, it felt really, I was really honored when they reached out. And we had a discussion on also, the current state of poetry in Malawi. What needs to be done for this art form to be appreciated as it is in other countries. And it was really overwhelming, and I was really honored for it.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. And before we move on, you could share with us one of your favorite poems and why, and probably we could just sample a clip for our viewers to appreciate what you do. Go ahead.
This isn't one of my favorites, but apparently people love it. Because when I was writing it, I just wanted to write something simple and resonating. But when I put it out, and I was getting a lot of feedback from it, this poem is called I Am a Strong Woman Still. It talks about, strong women who keep on, they keep on moving despite of all this, the challenges and struggles they face. And it's very resonating. And that's one of the poems. We can have a look at that. I am a strong woman still. When she said, being a strong woman can be tiring, I felt that. I'm sending you hugs. She then said, hugs aren't enough. I need to be under an umbrella of hope to ensure the security of my thoughts and feelings. I need a shield against self-doubt. I need my peace and sanity. I need my comfort and stability. In those moments when fear creeps in, when I become anxious and cry myself to sleep, the source of my strength is deep. But sometimes I feel weak. Being a strong woman can be tiring, but I keep going. I keep moving. My strength is real. I am a strong woman still.
I am a strong woman still. A beautiful poem there from Tendai Shawa, who happens to be my guest in today's edition of Date A. Now, as we continue with the program, Tendai, as an artist, there's so much going on around. Do you think your job has the power to make a difference in as far as issues of development, issues of youth empowerment, women empowerment are concerned? I know you do have a page on Facebook, and you bring out so many issues, and I always follow.
Yes.
Sometimes I just laugh, I can't comment. But you could actually see the reaction that people were looking for an outlet.
Yes.
How do you come up with those topics?
Yes. I think that all stems from being an artist. You have to provoke thoughts and feelings, you know, and you always have to give people an outlet for them to express themselves. And you're right, I always tackle several issues that are going on in the society, and some things people are afraid to bring up.
Yeah.
And then when I bring them up, usually I bring up an issue that's going on, and then later on I come up with a poem for it, you know. But you find that the themes are usually the same. Themes to do with love, you know, loss, all those things.
Friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah, relationships in general,
And I've noticed that it's been a recurring theme now, that we're having a lot of breakups and heartbreaks. A lot of that is going on, you know. So it seems like every other week I'm coming up with a heartbreak poem so that it can help heal someone, you know. Yeah, but I have to give people the platform so that they can express themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. And as a poet, there must be highs and lows along the journey. I know you've shared a bit of the success stories, but I'm sure there should be more. Tell us about the highs and lows. Maybe just one high and one low before we take a break.
Yes. I think one of the highs is the recognition you get. But for me, it's the local and international recognition I'm getting, and which is an honor. I think one of the lows for any artist is when you have no audience, you know, because you create something so that someone else can appreciate it or they can consume it. But then I think for most artists who are aspiring, they're in that phase where nobody is consuming their work and no one really appreciates that. But I can encourage anyone who's there in that phase to keep on pushing and believe in your own work, and make sure that one day, just keep on believing that one day it will reach the heights you want it to reach. Yes.
We'll continue in a little moment, Tendai. Let's just take a short break. We'll be right back in a moment. We will continue talking to Malawi's celebrated spoken word artist, poet, and author, Tendai Shawa. Don't you go away. Welcome back to this edition of Date A. My guest today is a celebrated spoken word artist, poet, and author, Tendai Shawa. We're just catching up with him to find out more about him. Welcome back to the last part of the program, Tendai.
Yes.
Now, we shall sample your other poem later on, but before we do that, let's talk about your latest book, The Lady in a Yellow Dress. What's it all about?
Yes. A Lady in a Yellow Dress was released in 2023, September 5, and it's my second collection of poems. Again, this is coming from one random poem I shared a few years back about a lady in a yellow dress. And for whatever reason, it started trending when I shared it. And you find that I was getting photos from ladies sending their photos in their yellow dresses. Of course, it's something that I would expect, but the trend just blew out of proportion, and yeah, it was beautiful. Again, it's one of those poems that ladies resonate with it, because you look at the color yellow, for instance, yellow, and you in yellow. I don't know if that's mustard or yellow. I don't know.
It is
custard.
Yellow.
Yeah. Yellow is in in certain aspects, it's a color of happiness, of sunshine and happiness, and it resonates a free-spirited person who is in touch with their thoughts and feelings, and they're not afraid to express themselves, in any way, and that's how beautiful the poem was, and that's the whole idea behind the book. It touches on certain aspects on happiness, and there's also some aspects of emotional healing, mental healing, and spiritual healing. And why the yellow dress is because we're tapping into the feminine qualities of a lady. What can we learn from this lady? And that there's a reason why God separated femininity and masculinity. And as much as this is a man's world, in quotes, we don't want to neglect those beautiful qualities that women bring into our lives. There's women, those feminine qualities that are so influential in certain aspects of our lives. And pretty much the book, if you read it, when you read it, you find that it touches those topics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And probably there should be a reason why it had to come at such a time as this.
Yeah.
I must say, I've sampled a few of your poems, and they're quite uplifting, I must say. I'm not saying it just because you're here, and I just want you to smile, and I'm having this interview with you.
Yeah.
And probably that's what caught my attention, to have you on the show, so that we hear more about that.
Yeah.
Moving forward, after all is said and done, this is your second book.
Yeah.
What are your plans for the future?
Yes. Still planning, but we should have some new projects coming up. We have some spoken word records that are scheduled for release, and I'm also in the process of drafting new concepts. So we'll see what happens. But should be an interesting year. Should be an interesting year, and I just urge people to be on the lookout.
Wow.
Yes.
Right. We'll be expecting
Yes.
that. You as an author and a poet and a spoken word artist, most people say that such things are not that rewarding, especially in a country like ours. What do you have to say about that?
The importance of being a poet or an author or whatever creative art form you choose to be in, to express yourself in, is you should consider yourself, like a top voice, like an opinion leader, someone who people can come to and to seek inspiration and motivation, what have you. And that's what's important. And the beauty of poetry is it transcends many boundaries, and the more you observe what is going on around the world, around the world around you, the more you can offer your poetic voice, and you can address many issues that are going on in the world. And I think that's the beauty of being a poet. And the most important thing is you should be able to connect people, across certain themes. Just make sure that they resonate with your work and they can relate to it, and they can find solace in your work, they can heal through your work, you can make them happy, whatever they desire with your work. And I think that's what's important.
So how can people access the books?
Yes. So we're using a different strategy for the second book. For the first part of the distribution, we're using like a direct marketing, so that we reach out to the niche, to the main audience. And then the second phase will be to reach out to the bookshops, and that will take place this coming April. So we're going to stock most of the top bookshops across Malawi, And then we're also going to target some fairs in Malawi and abroad. So that should be exciting. One of the fairs, we just missed this one. We were supposed to take part in it, was the London Book Fair. But I guess we'll grab the next one. So, but there's several other fairs that are happening across the world that we're going to target, throughout the year. Yeah, pretty much that is it.
Wow.
For the book, yes.
That sounds exciting and huge.
Yes.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you so
much. And
looking
forward to seeing you put Malawi on the map.
Definitely.
You are an ambassador in your own right. And we're always proud of you.
Thank you.
You're fairly young. The youth look up to you. What can you say to them at this moment?
Oh, I mean, general youth?
Yes.
Or you mean other creative people? Or just
either way.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just be yourself, and always, if you're spiritual, always remember to honor the Lord. I think that's what's most important. As much as we work hard and we achieve certain things, it all has to go back to God, and that's how we can bask in God's glory, knowing that we're doing something positive and impactful in this world. Yes.
Wow. And what do you think needs to be done as a country to make this industry grow?
Yeah, there's a lot of intervention that needs to be to occur, and I don't want to speak much into that. But if you can do it by yourself, just do it. You don't need policies and whatever. If you have the platform, use your platform. And you find that when you reach a certain point, you should also give others a platform so that they too can tell their own stories, which I find is more important. Pretty much that is it.
So let's now sample one of your poems, and which one is this, and why do you like it?
This one is called Learning to Forgive. Thoughts on forgiveness. Through all the things I've been through, good and bad, I learned to forgive. I received the gift of friendship and the gift of healing through their restoration. Through forgiveness, I found happiness. I found peace. All my struggles, doubts, fears, pain, and loss prepared me for something better. Better physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Through forgiveness, I found happiness. I found peace.
There you have it, the author of Moments to Cherish and Lady in a Yellow Dress. Tendai Shaba himself was my guest in today's edition of Date A. I'm sure you have enjoyed the program and been inspired as much as I have. Until next time, I'm Angel Chima on behalf of the entire team here from the 44 Hotel in Lilongwe. It's thank you for being there, and enjoy the rest of the programs here on MBC as we continue to inspire the nation. Goodbye.